I work as an exterminator for the only pest company in my small town. The pay's mediocre and the work's sometimes grisly, but I don't mind it too much. I've had my fair share of nightmare experiences, sure. Rats crawling down my soup, nests of brown recluses, your general attic horrors. Nothing stuck with me though. Not for too long. Not until I came into work today. It was 9:08 when I unlocked the door and shambled over to my desk. I remember because the little voicemail answering machine blinked the time at me over and over, indicating unheard messages. This was my standard morning routine. The first hour of every week was spent catching up on what had plagued people over the weekend.
You have 8 unread messages. To begin playback, press OK.
Jesus, 8. I can't remember the log having more than 3 or maybe 4 clients. But I guess the pay would be worth it. I hit OK and shrunk into my chair, already tired of the day.
Friday, 4:13 p.m. Hey, it's Rob again.
Oh, come on. I'd gotten half a dozen calls from this guy over the week, saying he thought he might have heard some scratching. He wasn't on my list of priorities.
I'm over at 324 East Plum, and I was hoping to get someone to check my house.
He said this line as a question, like I had a choice.
I was hoping to catch you before the weekend, but I must have missed you again. Guess you closed early.
Christ, what a dick. I thought, you know we didn't close early. God forbid I take an afternoon off.
Anyway, I'm thinking it's rats. I've been hearing some kind of scratching from the inside of the walls here. I don't want these guys running around, you know?
His nasally, high-pitched voice pierced my hungover ears. Rats, huh? Yeah, he'd know. Fine, whatever. I'll call him later today. I press next.
Saturday, 9:24 a.m. Hey, it's Rob again at 324 East Plum. Sorry to bother you again.
Are you? I interjected out loud, I guess for my own satisfaction. He drawled back in mid-sentence after where I cut him off.
Updating the situation, I guess is the word. They're getting a lot louder, like aggressive almost. Last night, after I called, the scratching intensified and it seemed to be in whatever room of the house I was in. Is that something rats do? Google wasn't much help. Anyway, hoping to hear back on Monday. Thank you.
The phone clicked and I chuckled a bit. Following him around, huh? I'm sure. Rob sounded like every white-collar moron who ever called in. Scared and helpless and clueless. I groaned under my breath and pressed next.
Saturday, 2:42 p.m.
Instantly, I recognized the voice.
Hey, I really hate to be blowing up your phone like this, but honestly, I'm at a loss. I know I just called this morning, but I think things are getting worse. I left a bit of food out, from lunch, and it's gone. I guess it's going to give the wrong impression. I left a meal's worth of leftover rice and chicken. Maybe a pound or so total. It's all gone, man. I mean, for God's sake, the bowl's licked clean. Is that something rats do? It has to be, right? So much food for anything smaller. I'm starting to feel like they're a health hazard. Please call back first thing Monday. Thank you.
Oh, sweet Jesus, he's lying to me. There's nothing in our town, let alone our state, that will clear a pound of food off of Rob's counter. 5 more voicemails, you little brat, then I'll call. I picked up a notepad beside me, jotted 324 East Plum and pressed next.
Saturday, 11:56 p.m. I'm sorry to call so late, or it doesn't even matter. It's a voicemail after all. I'm sorry.
Rob needed no introduction this time.
I'm very concerned at this point. I was sleeping somewhat shakily given the near constant scratching when a knock woke me up. Several of them, actually. There's a pounding coming from in my walls, sometimes dull, sometimes sharp, like it's right on the wall next to me. Is that some sort of mating thing? Do I need to be concerned about an entire nest? Regardless, I'm miserable and desperate for assistance. Looking forward to your call immensely. Rob.
I won't lie. I could hear the knocking through the phone even as he spoke to me about it. It was loud, and it sounded almost frantic at times. Definitely not the most typical call I'd gotten. Maybe squirrels, I thought absently, as I hit next.
Sunday, 7:14 a.m. Rob here. You can see I didn't get much sleep if you check the timestamps on these calls. I'm seriously considering taking matters into my own hands. I woke up this morning to find a small hole in my wall right next to my bed. It was high up, maybe 5.5 or 6 feet off the ground. Why a rat would put their entrance so high, I do not know, but it seems that they're making their way into my living space. Oh, and by the way, there are more holes, all the same height, all in different rooms of the house. I'm going out to buy traps as soon as I hang up. Goodbye.
Holes that high up? And straight through plaster and drywall in a night? Old Rob's dealing with some demented squirrels, I chuckled. Hell, maybe the traps would be enough. I clicked next.
Sunday, 7:48 p.m. Hey!
I heard a pounding on the walls.
You hear that? I'm not scared of you. There's poison in these. Poison! Hey, sorry, they're out of control.
Rob was panting and sounded like he was in a state of pure panic.
I bought these traps, but whenever I go towards the closet, the scratching and knocking gets so frenzied. It's unbelievable. You hear that, right? Hey! I'll kill you, you little bastards!
There was an audible laugh. My skin crawled as I heard it. That was too deep to be Rob's voice. It sounded gravelly and sick.
The fuck was that? Did you hear that? Is that some kind of growl? Shit, do raccoons do this kind of thing?
I felt fear creep into my mind, and could only imagine what Rob must have felt that evening.
I gotta...
Another sound cut him off. This time, it sounded like a muffled cough.
I gotta go. Talk tomorrow.
Actually nervous, I started to call Rob. As I typed his number though, I realised that the next voicemail was also from him. Oh fuck. Please tell me he sorted it out. I pressed next.
Monday, 2:57 a.m. I think there was something very wrong, man. I set these traps. I put out poison and like the spring ones. I finally got into the closet last night when the scratching stopped, and I put a few big spring ones in there. And I went to bed, and man, I finally got some sleep. The scratching was gone, and the knocking too, but I just heard a scream. There was a scream from the closet. It sounded low and pained, but it sounded like a person. I wanted to call and let you know in case it was valuable information or in case something happens. But, well, I thought it made more sense to call you than 911 for now. If I get in there and it's a raccoon or some shit, I'll feel stupid as hell. Okay, I'm walking into the closet.
My heart rate was out of control. I felt like I was the sole listener of the world's most horrifying audio content. I realised my fingernails had been cutting into my hands. The voicemail ended. I placed my now bloodied hand onto the phone to dial 911 when I saw that the last voicemail was from Rob as well. Oh Jesus, thank God. Thank God. I felt an unimaginable weight lift off me as I hit next.
Monday, 3:05 a.m.
Hey, it's Rob. Sorry about all that. Dropped my phone when I saw the rats and the traps. It must have hung up. Didn't mean to scare you. It seems like I got 'em though. Traps did their job, and I'm all set. No need to come out. Thanks anyway.
I wanted to feel settled. I wanted to set down the phone and relax into my chair while I waited on some mundane call. I wanted to believe that Rob was well, but I couldn't. The voice that placed that last call, the one that gave me the all clear, came through the phone low and gravelly.